There is something really weird going on. Currently, 14 scientists have gone missing after they revealed some information.
Now notice also, this is the body of an alien.
Well, so the ultra-terrestrials, I'll just tell you. The ultra-terrestrials, I think, have you heard of the P-52s and the P-47s? Do you know what that is? They're us from the future.
And she's now among the 14 scientists that actually went missing. And Amy was actually working on an anti-gravity propulsion system, which is a technology that could basically extract free energy out of nowhere, which means that we could have had free electricity where we don't really have to pay for anything. And the amount of energy resource that we would have as of now would be infinite. So Amy was part of UFO and extraterrestrial research, and she was also working on the electrostatic propulsion. And right before Amy went missing, apparently the case was closed by stating that she had a self-inflicted gunshot. Nobody knew what happened. The case was completely closed until now. Because right before Amy died, she revealed some crazy information, which is the reason why people believe that Amy might have got herself killed. Because before Amy passed away, she actually spoke about something called as the ultra-terrestrial. These are not extraterrestrial. And I think you guys should take a look at what Amy had to say here.
So the ultra-terrestrials, I'll just tell you, don't die. So the ultra-terrestrials, I'll just tell you.
So apparently from what Amy has been talking about, she says that the P-47s and P-52s are basically us humans from the future. And that's what these ultra-terrestrial beings are. And also keep in mind that this is not just some woman that just went crazy. She's someone who's highly educated and she has a lot of knowledge about everything that goes on in the science and technology and stuff. She also revealed about this information that the government, they actually possess the kind of technology which could generate infinite amount of energy from nowhere. You don't really have to spend any sort of resource or nothing. You could just basically get unlimited energy from gravity itself. And this thing was shut down and they did not allow this whole thing to process through because that's going to take a huge hit in terms of income that the government could generate by selling these resources. And the way that these people control us humans is only based on what they could sell us, which are the resources and the energy which we buy with our money. These things, if we could just get for absolutely free, they cannot control us anymore. And that's the technology that Amy was bringing out to the world. And right when she revealed it, it seems like she was taken down. She also spoke about a few more things, which I think you guys should take a look at.
He was like, if you haven't had a U.S. government agent come to you and say, stop, shut the f up, stop, shut the f up. If that hasn't happened, they're going to let you do it. They're waiting. There are SSP motherfuckers twiddling their thumbs. Like, is Amy not going to publish soon? Gah. We've been influencing this forever. Doesn't she know we want her to publish? Jesus. Like, there's multiple people doing that right now. And on the other side of the fence, there's multiple parties looking at each other like, didn't we tell this 3 years ago that we kill people for this? Is she not listening? What is she doing? She's still doing it? What? We told her we were going to kill her 3 years ago. So I have these two different scenarios floating constantly in my life where I have people being like, do it, do it, do it. You're the one, do it. And then I have multiple people being like, they're going to kill you. Don't do it. They're going to kill you.
So according to Amy, it seems like there were two different groups of people. One of them wanted her to go ahead and reveal these information out to the public, and they wanted people to know about what the government has been hiding. So they were just waiting for her to reveal this information. And the other group were actually opposing her from not revealing this information. And they also threatened her that if at all someday she reveals it, she's going to be killed within 3 years. And that's exactly what happened. Because as soon as she revealed this information, 48 hours after she revealed this, after a last live stream where she spoke about everything that's going on, it seems like someone might have just assassinated her. Now, before Amy was killed, something very interesting happened because she also made this update information about how these people were trying to stop her from giving out this information So they were using these very advanced technology weapons. As you're sleeping in your house, you will have absolutely no idea on what's going on. And these are apparently some very advanced direct energy weapons. Take a look at this one right here.
My hands have been burned to hell and back as I've been typing. Because you can beam me through there and through there. And you can get a 3D image of what I'm typing. Because this computer doesn't have a Wi-Fi card. You can't hack it. But you can maybe get a 3D image of me typing. So
look at this. So she basically uses all of these blue sheets, like she covers up her windows and all that stuff. And I don't know if you guys have watched one of my previous videos where we spoke about the Los Angeles fire that took place recently, where some of the houses were not burnt, which had blue roofs. And China also has this policy where all of their houses are like painted blue in color. The roofs are painted blue in color, especially. It seems like they know something that we don't. Apparently, Chinese people already know this stuff, which we don't. And that's what Amy has been doing. So she's been covering her entire house with these blue sheets. She says that these burns that she was getting all over her body just completely stopped. So she's clearly claiming that they were using some sort of a direct energy weapon on her house, and they were trying to kill her without having any trace or whatsoever.
So like we just did that and did that as an act of pure desperation. And guess what? I feel better immediately. Like, my hands still burn because there's damage. But
look at that.
But it's like my body relaxed when we barricaded the shit. And it was like, oh, like relief. Like immediately.
So all they need is basically just your location. If they could just pinpoint your location, they can just direct this direct energy weapon right at your location, and you wouldn't really have a clue on what's going on. No matter what kind of house you live in, these energy weapons can literally pass through your walls until or unless your house is like covered with blue in color. Because for some reason, it seems like the energy doesn't work on the blue color. And the Chinese seem to already know about this stuff. And it's not just the American scientists that have gone missing, because currently we have 14 American scientists that have gone missing. And we also have 9 scientists that have gone missing from China. And we have no information or whatsoever about how these Chinese scientists went missing, because obviously China keeps everything as a massive secret. They don't really share internet with the world. They have their own stuff, you know. So there's no base or no means in order to know what's really going on in there. But the only reports that we've gotten so far is that there were some of these whistleblower scientists who were coming out and giving out these informations about what the government has been hiding so far. And as soon as they've done that, it seems like 9 scientists have gone missing all at the same time in China. And after taking a look at what they've been doing with Amy, apparently she was being burnt right inside her house using these energy weapons. This basically shows on what could have been the reason behind the LA fire, behind the Hawaii fire. All of these fires that just started out of nowhere, and people say that it was started by some of the arsons. But the real truth, the reality behind this stuff that these people are trying to hide from us could be these direct energy weapons that they have never revealed out to the world. And anyone that gave out this information were immediately taken down. And it's not just this. Also, UFO expert Nick Pope recently died at the age of 60. And he's someone that's been doing live streams on YouTube. He shares to the world about these secret operations that the government is planning to do. And he was one of the first ones who came out and gave us information about how they are trying to create a hybrid between these aliens and humans. And they're trying to create these hybrid human versions inside of Area 51. So they have this massive lab where they're probably just running some crazy research in there, which is something that Nick has been revealing for the past couple of years. And recently, archaeologists also found this artifact, which is basically carved into a stone. This apparently depicts on what the Bible talks about as well, where the Watchers came down from heaven and they mated with human woman. And they created this massive giant babies called the Nephilims. So this basically shows us that there is this alien creature that's mating with a human woman. And that's basically how they created these Nephilims. And these are part of the history. We have some solid archaeological proofs as to how these things happen. And upon doing some research, they stated that demons are very different from the fallen angels. And they have an interesting history as well. And this is what he has to say.
Demons don't like water. Why? Nobody knows, unless you entertain the book of Genesis chapter 6, that when the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, they seized upon them and took them to be their wives. The sons of God is a reference in the Old Testament to angels. I believe it's fallen angels came upon daughters of mankind, women, in Genesis 6, and it says there that the women became pregnant and they had babies, and the babies grew up to be giants, and they were known as the men of renown. The fallen ones, Nephilim. You say, Jack, is this crazy? No, this is Bible, Genesis chapter 6. Wait, you said fallen angels. What have to do with demons? Because listen, how were the giants destroyed? The giants were not fully human. They were not fully spirit. Right. They were the progeny of fallen angels who cohabitated with human females. The children born out of the women were giants called Nephilim or Anakim. Goliath was the son of Anak, or the Anakim, some sort of genetic freaks. Isn't it interesting? After Genesis 6, when the flood came and washed away the giants, where did their souls go? What kind of souls did they possess? This is my opinion, and I've studied this for years, and it's still my opinion. I believe that judgment fell upon the generation of Noah because the line had been crossed that these fallen angels had cohabitated with women. They had human offspring that were hybrids, and when those hybrids were swept away in death by the flood, that those spirits of those hybrids, demons. There's angels fallen and not fallen, and then there's demons that are creatures always looking to inhabit something. Angels, according to the Bible, can appear and disappear. Demons need something to possess, including idols. Demons.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense now. So apparently demons are like the spirits of those Nephilims. Because everybody, once they die, they either go to hell or heaven. They either face the judgment of God. So apparently the so-called demons are nothing but the souls, like the energies of those Nephilims who neither went to God, neither went to hell. They are just stuck here on earth. And they are very different from the fallen angels. And there are some ancient paintings which we have in here, apparently. So these are like the massive giants that go over human women, and they made it with them, and they created this massive stuff. And here's David, who's fighting with Goliath. Now, interestingly, there was also another Area 51 scientist who's part of the 14 scientists that went missing. And he shares some crazy photos of the so-called aliens, the hybrids which were created in Area 51, the kind of research that they were doing. So he ended up showing this stuff, and as soon as he did it, he just went missing. Take a look at this. Look at this stuff. So he apparently shows these footage. Look at that. That's a foot. That's some sort of a face.
And where we have 6 ribs that are
I don't really know.
They have 3. And the total height is less than 5 feet.
So it says their height is less than 5 feet. And they only have 3 fingers. Wow, look at that. That's the face. That looks weird. They look super weird. And he also says that they are short in size. And these are like the hybrids that they were trying to create. Like these really freaked out creatures. That's disgusting, to be honest, if they were working on this stuff. And as soon as we revealed it, apparently this guy just went missing. And if you actually look at the Bible, it says that these fallen angels, as soon as they left heaven, apparently they lost everything that they had. The way they looked and everything completely changed. They were completely burnt down. They lost their wings, and they started looking extremely weird and ugly. So maybe you never know. And as far as what we have been hearing from many of the scientists, they say the same thing, that these so-called aliens are nothing but demons from the biblical scriptures. And David Wilcock actually left a few messages before they claimed that he took his own life. This here is the message that he left out to the world.
Every day that I have on earth is a gift and a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that, because frankly, people are disappearing. Scientists are going missing. Now they're saying they're going to investigate this. The president himself is saying they're going to look into this and see if anything's going on. It's a little bit scary. Every day that I have on earth is a gift and a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that because, frankly, people are disappearing.
So he basically made this statement on a live stream, and then on April 20th, he just goes missing. He's just dead. And the file just comes out as him taking his own life. Because interestingly, right before David died, he had some very crazy things that he shared with the world.
So
Look
the
at
cabal has made a science, a very elaborate science, out of studying these arcane, occult, magical principles that allow them to get away with what they do. So they have to put out everything that tells you who they are in music videos, in these Super Bowl halftime shows, the Grammy Awards ceremonies. They're out there showing
So he's basically talking about those secret society, which you guys probably know.
you the truth. This is what people are going to have so much trouble with once disclosure happens, is that these people actually practice black magic, and they are very, very good at it. So the cabal has made a science, a very elaborate science, out of studying these arcane, occult, magical principles.
So now you understand why they worship Baal. Oh my God, it makes a lot of sense now. And as soon as he revealed this information, he was taken down. And he was just portrayed as the guy that took his own life. And now the 13th scientist was working on the space research team. And he was also part of the UFO program. So apparently he seemed to have known a lot more stuff than he should have. So apparently he had a lot of information about the UFOs and UAPs that we've been seeing in the sky. Car just burnt out of nowhere. And every single person that's been involved in the UAP programs, the UFO programs, or any kind of space research programs, they're all being taken down.
Breaking news, the 13th
Nobody
scientist
knows why.
found burned in Tesla at the age of 29. This is the 13th scientist who has passed away behind the recent deaths of scientists. 29-year-old Joshua LeBlanc was not just any NASA engineer. He worked on nuclear propulsion systems, one of the most sensitive areas in aerospace. Police say his body burned beyond recognition, and police confirmed his identity 3 days later after the body was transported to the Alabama Department of Forensic Science. At the time, his family said they feared he had been abducted and that he had left his phone and wallet in his home at the time of the disappearance. Why are all these scientists leaving their phones behind when they leave? So since he didn't have his phone, police tracked LeBlanc down using data from his Tesla Sentry mode and found that his vehicle sat at the airport in Huntsville for hours on the morning of his passing. His family said his trip west was not part of his plan for the day, and that uncharacteristically he was not communicating with them. Officials are currently treating the incident as a traffic-related accident, and there is no confirmed evidence of foul play. However, the case is drawing significant attention online, as some reports claim LeBlanc may be part of a broader pattern involving multiple scientists who have died or gone missing in recent years. Authorities have not
Isn't
confirmed
that
any
very
connection
obvious?
between these cases. The investigation remains ongoing. Breaking news.
That is indeed very obvious, right? As soon as all the scientists have been going missing and the Tesla just burns up. This is one of the reasons why I'm extremely scared of like these electric vehicles, right? They could just lock you in the car. If you have one of these vehicles, the government could decide that they just want to lock you in and just end you inside, and you wouldn't even know it. You know, it's like the more we grow with technology, the more we are losing our freedom, and like they could gain more control over us. That's just crazy to know, man. And before David died, there was this very interesting little thing that he actually talks about, the so-called Project Blue Beam, the massive disclosure that the government is going to be bringing out. And this was the final thing that he spoke about before he was taken down.
I would want the world to know about Ascension. I would want the world to know that we are very, very close. And all the people on the inside know this. This is the key of disclosure. We are very close to some sort of energetic shift that the sun is going to do. There have already been multiple experiments, I've heard this from several insiders, in which they take ordinary folks and they put them into a room and they zap them with the energy that our sun is going to give off when we go through this change. They become very blissed out. They start to get really telepathic. They can move things with their mind. Everybody kind of goes into a psychedelic trip. Our government knows that this is going to happen, where there's no veil left, where we are wide open to reality. I would want the world.
So apparently he's saying that the sun kind of emits some sort of an energy which these guys haven't access to, and they just randomly abduct a few normal folks and they put them all in a room and they force this energy into their bodies. And apparently the kind of reaction that happens is that these people end up getting some sort of a telepathic energy, which helps them move stuff in the world using their telepathic energies. That's just crazy. You know, a lot of people have come out recently and they've been stating that they could physically or with their mental power summon these UFOs. And these things are indeed real. There were documentaries done on this whole thing, and it turns out that they can actually do this stuff. And apparently that's what David has been talking about. And these are the things that actually got him killed. As soon as he revealed this information, David goes missing 48 hours later. And do you guys remember the guy that was live streaming this Booga Spear UFO that was flying over his farm, and he used the laser light and the Booga Spear ended up breaking down? The whole thing that he was talking about, very legitimate.
My body is shaking.
Because it's really hard for someone to just, you know, edit out footage or like do some weird stuff to edit out footage if they're live streaming, right?
Holy shit.
So in the
There's
beginning,
something like around it. It's literally like invisible or see-through. That's it right there. It's at the ground. Dude, do you hear that?
do you remember this guy?
It's so cold, bro.
Like, he was actually making this live video where he said that he actually found this Booga spear, and when he touched it, the half of the spear was actually super cold. It was like freezing cold, and he also used the laser beam on this thing, and he did all of this stuff on the live stream
to showcase what.
And
this
when he used the laser beam on this stuff, it ended up
tiny,
crashing
and then when I,
down.
like, hit it with the beam, it like is bigger. Like, see, there's like.
Look at that.
It's literally a circle. Bro, that is not a plane.
And when this thing ended up crashing down,
mirror-like.
Oh, I'm tripping, dude. I shouldn't be touching
it started touching it, and it was making some real weird humming
the bottom
noise.
is like warm, the top is cold as shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Look, that. Look at hot, cold. No, it's not hot, but it's like warm, and that's like cold. You can literally see the condensation.
So he was doing all of this stuff on a live stream. This thing was flying in the sky. It landed on the live stream. It crash landed, and he basically filmed this whole thing while it was happening live.
What the f?
And what's interesting is that he points out this laser beam on this object, and he states that he could basically see through the metallic object. So anytime he puts on the laser beam, he can actually see through it. How's that even possible? How could you see through a metallic ball, a metallic spear? That's the weird stuff. Look at this.
That was crazy. Hold on. My phone tripped the hell out when I went towards it.
It's constantly humming. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
Some viewers later pointed to this as evidence that whatever he found was interfering with his live stream.
Dude, it's through.
Look at that.
Dude, that's metal. And it's shining in. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like, inside is glowing green. How is that even possible, bro?
And how weird is that? When he shines the laser at this object, even though it appears to be perfectly metallic on the outside, the laser goes through it, and you can see the laser behind the object on his jacket.
The whole thing illuminates on the inside. And the bottom light is shining on the bottom of my jacket. This is metal, bro. And I don't know how it's see-through.
That is very interesting.
To my jacket.
So remember, this guy was doing a whole live stream about this whole stuff, and obviously it was very believable because the whole thing was happening live. And he even recorded this thing flying around, and it just crash landed. He used the laser, and everything seemed very legitimate. But now it seems like something crazy just happened, because this guy has now posted a video where he claims that everything was basically fake and it was all just orchestrated.
I've done the whole attention thing, you know. This is just for fun. Like, I'm currently retired and I'm 31 and I'm bored. I don't mind doing something fun like this. Like, this is fun to me.
But by that point...
And now he claims that he just did it for fun and it's fake, basically. And the internet is not ready to believe, you know, because the whole thing was done live. And it was very, very believable as to what he did. Nowhere does it seem like it was some sort of a fake orchestrated plan. And now people believe that the government has gotten to this guy and they could be threatening him in order to say that it was all fake. And now looking at all the scientist situation and how the disclosure has been happening, as well as this new stuff, because we've already been warned by many of these scientists that have been working on the UAP projects, the UFO projects, that the government has been planning for many years for this one massive event, which is going to be called as the Project Blue Beam, which recently even Dr. Stephen Greer spoke about in Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast. Take a look at this footage right here.
What is the most dangerous information that you know?
Oh boy. They're going to hoax an alien threat, and it's all a lie.
Look at
so
that.
We are actually in the last year at the point where they've started on that plan. We have got to intercept this plan and stop it. Or if you think 9/11 and the Iraq War was a clusterfuck, this is going to be that 1,000 times worse.
That is crazy, man. That is crazy.
That there's a group of people who control this issue that are trying to provoke an interplanetary incident. So the next war, World War III, will be interplanetary.
So apparently they're going to do a massive war.
Serious group of nut jobs, and they have to be put on a leash and stood down fast and quickly. This group started releasing stuff to the CNN and Washington Post and New York Times. Every bit of information they're putting out
I've been noticing this stuff as well.
It's a threat to the national security. Our sovereignty has been invaded. It's the kind of brainwashing that's already started to try to convince the public there as an alien threat.
I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but that is exactly what's been happening around the world as well.
Based on your experience and extensive conversations with experts, do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. Craft stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries.
So they're just basically creating this whole scenario where they're just making us believe, making us get ready for something massive, like a massive disclosure that's coming up. And that's exactly what he said in Logan Paul's podcast as well, that these guys are just going out in CNN and all these news channels and they're just giving out information. They're just trying to hoax this whole thing so that we could get ready for the so-called big event, which is the Project Blue Beam, where they're going to be creating a fake alien invasion, where one person is going to be saving the world from the massive invasion. And this one person is none other than Antichrist. And he's apparently going to be sitting on the throne of God. He's going to make himself God before Christ comes back again. Before the second coming, there's massive, stupid stuff that needs to happen, which unfortunately we need to go through. And it seems like the final times are coming in, and apparently the time is now because the disclosure is already started, which means that we only have like a couple of years left, probably a year or two left. We never know. Maybe they could extend it. We never know. This could go on for probably the next 7 years, and then the final end just happens. We never know. So I genuinely want to know from you guys, what do you personally think about everything that we've seen so far? It's going to be it's going to be a very interesting topic to go ahead and discuss in the comments of today's episode. I am really, really curious to know from you guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe and stay tuned for more episodes like these. Make sure to go ahead and share this episode or the video with your friends, family, loved ones, so that they can get to know about the truth about what's really going on in this world behind the scenes, because it's a really effed up world that we are living in, man. And it seems like the Project Blue Beam is officially going down. And I need all of your support to spread the message out there in the world. So make sure to go ahead and do it. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you guys on the next one. Until then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.